whatever the topic we are going to, I am going to complete for complete under this source coding. That is going to be your CAT2 portion. Okay. So now you see what is this source coding, where it is available in our digital communication system. First we will see that. Okay. Now I'll take our digital communication system. Okay, the digital communication system is going to be analog to digital converter. So instead of that, I can make it like this. It is going to be source. Okay, source is giving the discrete symbols, right? X will be given. X will be given to source coder. Okay, source coder. Source coder output will go to channel coder. Channel coder output will go to modulator. Okay, the signal is modulated, then the signal will be transmitted. Okay, so this is the simple digital communication system model. Okay, this is our digital communication system model. So now we have studied what is discrete memoryless source. Okay, so what is the output of discrete memoryless source? Under this we have studied various entropies. Now we are moving from this to this source coder. Okay, so now today's topic is source coding. Okay, source coding, we are going to study this, what is source coding, everything. Okay, source coding or source coder is a system, is going to do source coding process. Okay, source coding is used to represent the symbols in terms of compact binary data, like that we can say. Okay, source coding or source coder. Source coding is a process, is used and it is used to represent the symbols in terms of compact binary data. Very simple. Okay, so source coder is going to convert, we can say simply convert non-binary data to binary data. Okay, binary data. This conversion is there, no? This conversion is going to be achieved with the help of various algorithms. Okay, so X is the discrete memoryless symbol. The output of the source coder is going to be B. Okay, B is going to be binary. Okay, binary. So this source coder is having some requirements. Okay, requirements. Okay, what are the requirements for this source coder or source coding process? Means first process is going to be the source coder is going to the source coding process. Okay, requirements for this source coder. Okay, first one is going to be source coder output is going to be code words. Okay, source coder is producing, okay, produces the code words. Okay, code words. Okay, code words in terms of binary. Okay, code words in terms of binary. Very simple. Okay, source coder is a process, whatever the non-binary data is coming, that will be converted into binary. That's all. Okay, so like that, first I can here also non-binary is non-binary input, non-binary output is available, that we will see later. At present, source code is a process and it is used to represent the symbols in terms of compact binary data. Simply we can say that source coder is used to convert non-binary data to binary data. What are the requirements for the source coder? Source coder must produce the code words in terms of binary. Okay, so that is going to be the first requirement. What is the second requirement means? Okay, second requirements in terms of binary. Okay, second requirement means the code words are there, no? Okay, code word, for example, x1 is a symbol, so we are going to get b1 is the binary, so b1 is called code word. Actually the code words are going to be uniquely decodable. Okay, decodable. These are the two requirements. Okay, one is binary conversion, another one is the code words are going to be uniquely decodable. Okay, we will see the example for that. Okay, we will see the example for that. So first example, you see this. Okay, first example you see. I can take x1, okay, x2, x3, x4. Okay, like that I have four symbols. Okay, four symbols are there. Let symbols are going to be x1, x2, x3, x4. Their binary values are going to be binary data. Okay, I can say that code words. Binary data is called code word actually. Okay, code word. So one is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Like that I am assigning. Okay, I am assigning the. It is very length is we have only four symbols available, so that we are directly writing. You see 0, 0. I have given length of each and every code is going to be 2 bits. Okay, 2 bits. L is going to be length of each and every code word. It's a binary code word. So you see this 0, 0. All the code words you see, all are going to be unique actually. All are going to be unique. You can see 0, 0 is not assigned to anyone. So x2 is going to be 0, 1. It is not assigned to anyone. So all are going to be unique. If it is unique, definitely the codes are unique, then the codes are called uniquely decodable. What is the meaning? Let one output of discrete memoryless source, okay, which is consisting of four different symbol x1, x1, x2, x3, x1, x4, like that it is going. It is the output. Okay, so now I can encode this. Whenever x1 comes, I'll be sending 0, 0. x1 means 0, 0. I found that. x2 is 0, 1, x3 is 1, 0, x1 is 0, 0, x4 is going to be 1, 1, like that I am getting. So it is a non-binary, okay, non-binary that is converted into binary. This is called a source coder output. Source coder output. You see this is transmitted and this is receiver side. So it can be easily decoded. How it is going to be decoded? You see this, how the decoding process. So all are going to be divided into 2 bits. We know that each and every symbol is taking the length of 2 bits actually. Okay, so that I have divided. So I'll be matching this first 2 bits with the code word which are available in this table. This is called coding table. Okay, this is called coding table. So 0, 0, okay, x1 I can decode. Okay, 0, 0, x1 I can decode. x2, 0, 1, 1, 0, x3, again 0, 0, x1, x4. So you see this, they are uniquely decodable. Okay, if you assign unique binary number to each and every symbol, okay, then the receiver side that can be easily decoded without any disturbance. Students, are you able to understand what is the purpose of uniquely decodability? Okay, the codes are having the property called uniquely decodable. We are assigning unique codes. Understand all of you? Understand all of you? Transmitter, yes, receiver. Yes, this is transmitter. This can be received. Okay. Can I proceed now? Can I proceed? Yes, okay. So now you see this. Now I am going to represent the source code. Okay, representation of source code. Carefully note down this source code representation. The source code representation you see where x is equal to discrete memoryless source x1, x2. This will go up to xm. Okay, I have m symbols. I can calculate the probability for this p1, p2. This will go up to pm. Okay, I have m number of probabilities. I am able to find out the binary b1, b2. Like that, I am able to find out the binary numbers for each and every symbol. That is the purpose. Okay, code words. Code words are from source coder. Okay, this is called the representation of source coder. So each and every binary number is having length L1, L2, like that it will go to M. Okay, this one. What is this L1? L1 is the length of, okay, L1 is the length of B1. Okay, so what is B1? B1 is the code word. Okay, code word or code vector. We can give another name, code vector for the symbol. Okay, for the symbol x1. Okay, so b1 is a code for x1. L1 is the length of b1. Similarly, for b2 is the code word for x2. Yeah, B2 is the code vector for length of the B2 is the code for X2, L2 is the code length for B2, like that. Okay, it will be going one by one. So now types of source coding process. Now we have seen the representation. X is the discrete memoryless source. P is the probability code vector. The code vector only we are going to find out with the help of source coding algorithms. So what are the types of source coding methods? Okay, types is going to be, first one is called fixed length coding. Okay, fixed length coding. Okay, second one is called variable length coding. Okay, fixed length coding, and the second one is called variable length coding. Okay, you see this fixed length coding. Okay, what is fixed length coding? So the previous example is called fixed length coding. So L is constant. Okay, L is constant. Okay, L is constant. Okay, what is the disadvantage? We have some disadvantage. That one we will see later. Disadvantages. Just we will see the coding process. What is the variable length coding? Take the same example where x is equal to x1, x2, x3 and x4. Okay, x4, and probabilities are going to be P1, P2, P3, P4, like that. Okay, we have 4 probabilities are available. Okay, we have 4 probabilities are available. So now you see this. I am going to create a coding table. Coding table, first one is called x1, x2, x3 and x4. Their probabilities P1, P2, P3, P4, like this. Code vector, just I am giving the example only. You see uniquely decodable codes I am going to write. So 1, okay, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0001, all are uniquely decodable codes. It's a variable length actually. Okay, variable length, but you can easily decode it. So now I will be calculating the length also here. So what is the length of each and every code? Here 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. You see this variable length is available. X1 is the symbol, 1 is the binary number. It is binary actually. This is binary. Okay, so x2 is the non-binary, then binary code word is 0, 1. x3 is the symbol, representation, binary representation is 0, 0, 1. So now I can take this. I can take one output. So now output is going to be, for example, x1, x1, okay, x2, x4, x1, x3. It is randomly occurring. I hope you know that. So how to represent this? Whenever x1 comes, binary number 1, again 1. Okay, x2 means 0, 1. X4 means 0001, and x1 1, and the x3 is going to be 001, x1 1. So you can easily decode this. This code can be easily decoded. You see, whenever second one also, here how to decode means always you have to check the first bit and subsequent bit also while decoding with the help of the coding table. This is called coding table, what we have created with the help of the algorithm. But here I gave randomly I have taken one example. Okay, it is a coding table. Okay, so now you see this x1, 1, 1. 1 is x1, but you go to the next bit 1, 1. No code like 1, 1 actually. No code is starting with 1, 1. So that this x1 can be decoded as x1. Okay, decoded as x1. This can be x1. Next one 1. So no code is starting with 1, 0. So that this 1 alone we can decode it. Next one 0. So you see 0, there are 3 symbols are starting with 0. So you go to the next bit 0, 1. So 0, 1 you can take it x2 actually. You can take it x2. Here you see next bit is 0. 0, 3. Again you go to 0. So 2, 0. There are 2 zeros starting here. Here also 2, 0. Here also 2, 0. So then go to the next bit. Here 000. Definitely 000 means the last bit is going to be 1. So here we have this. So like that one by one we have to check. Here once again I will be explaining 0. There are 3 symbols are starting with 0. One more bit you take. 00. So x3 and x4 are starting with 00. So go to the 4th bit. Suppose it is 1 means you can decode as x3, but one more 0 is there. One more 0, x4 is matching. So this is going to be x4. So this 1. So 1 here 1. The next bit is 1 0. No bit is starting with 1 0. So this 1 is going to be decoded as x1. Here you see these 2 zeros are coming. So 2 0 means either x3 or x4. Go to the third bit. Third bit is 1. So x3 can be decoded. Last one is x1. Now you see this. Okay, you see this. The red color one. It is decoded. This is the original information. So these codes are called uniquely decodable. Like that only we have to create our coding. So here the length is variable. First 1 bit, 2 bit, 3 bit, 4 bit, like that it is coming. So it is called variable length coding. So variable length coding, and also it is converting non-binary to binary, and all the codes are uniquely decodable codes. So we are going to study about the variable length coding. So in the variable length coding, we have various codes like Shannon, okay, Shannon-Fano, okay, Shannon-Fano, Huffman codes, okay, Huffman code, okay, arithmetic code, and then next one is going to be arithmetic, then LZ78, LZW, like that we are going to see all the codes we are going to study. The first I am going to start with Huffman code. Okay, Huffman code. The Huffman code is one of the efficient code. Okay, one of the efficient code. In this Huffman code, no, we have two types of Huffman codes available. One is called, put the heading, minimum variance. Okay, minimum variance Huffman code. Second one is called maximum variance Huffman code. Okay, like that we have to. First we will see the minimum variance. Okay, we will see minimum. Next class I will take tomorrow. I will be taking maximum variance. Okay, minimum variance Huffman code. Okay, put the heading. So Huffman code is an algorithm is used. Okay, Huffman coding is a process to represent the symbols in terms of binary. Okay, it is producing. It is an optimum code actually. This Huffman coding is a optimum code. Optimum code in the sense it is uniquely decodable. Okay, and also one more property is available. That property also we will see. Okay, property after completion of this problem, that property can be satisfied. I don't want to confuse now. Okay, now we will start the Huffman coding process using minimum variance procedure. Okay, so now you see this the problem I will be giving like this. Okay, apply. Note down the problem. Okay, apply minimum variance. Okay, minimum variance Huffman code to the following source symbols. X is equal to S0, S1, S2, S3, like this. Okay, their probabilities are given 0.4, 0.2, 0.2, 0.1 and 0.1, like this. Okay, so one more symbol is also there, S4. There are 5 symbols. Okay, calculate variance and efficiency. Okay, this is the problem. Okay, how to start this problem? Okay, solution, please all of you clearly note down. Okay, minimum variance procedure. Okay, minimum variance. Okay, Huffman code. Okay, so you see this. First write the symbols. What are the symbols? S0, S1, S2, S3 and S4. So before that, no, first procedure is, okay, first one is, okay, you have to write the probabilities in descending order. Okay, write the probabilities in the descending order. Okay, now you see all the probabilities 0.4, 0.2, 0.2, 0.1, 0.1. All the probabilities are in descending order. Directly I am writing. If the probabilities are not in descending order, you have to rewrite the probabilities. That is the first. Descending order is the first one. This is stage number 1. Okay, this is stage number 1. Stage number, it is a stage by stage process. I am going to, okay, I am going to write the probabilities in descending order like this. Okay, after writing this, okay, after writing, you have to take the last two probabilities combined together. Last two probabilities are combined together. Now you see, this is the problem. Okay, now I have to check all the probabilities are in descending order or not. For example, note down this one. X1, okay, S0, S1, S2, S3, S4. Okay, the probabilities are like 0.2, okay, 0.2, 0.4, 0.1, 0.1. So how to write this? You have to make it in descending order, right? So S2, S0, S1, S3, S4. So S2 is 0.4, this is 0.2, 0.2, 0.1, 0.1. So S2 is on the top because we are writing the probabilities in descending order. Okay, note down this example. This is a first process actually. If you are doing any mistake with that, entire problem will become wrong actually. Please note down this. All are understanding what I am trying to say? What I am trying to say, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first one is we have to ensure that all the probabilities are in the descending order. Like that only, remaining stage, already I told it is a stage by stage process. Remaining stage also, we are going to ensure that all the probabilities are in descending order. Okay, so next one, how we are going to ensure the probabilities means we are going to in the first stage I told that we have to combine last two probability. How to combine? This combination is going to be, I am going to add 0.1 and 0.1. Last two probabilities are going to be added together. Okay, added together, and the new probability is going to be 0.2. Okay, that is going to be appended in the next stage actually. Appended in the next stage. This appending process only classifying two types. You see 0.4, 0.2, 0.2 like this. These remaining, this is the stage number 2. Please listen all of you. We are in the stage number 1. We have ensured that all the probabilities are in descending order and we have combined last two probabilities. So after combining, we have to add it 0.1 plus 0.2. Answer will become 0.2. Okay, let it be. You go to the second stage. In the second stage, you take the remaining probabilities. Okay, remaining probabilities are going to be 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. These probabilities are coming like this. Okay, and where we have to keep this new probability, it is a new probability, no, 0.2. So this new probability is going to be kept in the second stage. You have while keeping this new probability, you have to check whether this 0.2 is available in this existing list or not. 0.2 is available. Okay, if you keep this 0.2 above the existing probability, okay, above the existing probability or below the existing probability. Okay, these are the two possibilities available, whether we have to keep or here. So if you keep here, that is called minimum variance. If you keep the new probability below the existing, these two are existing which are coming from stage number 1. Okay, so if you keep your new probability below the existing probability, that is called maximum variance. Okay, that is the process. Now you see, I am going to do this. I have explained the minimum variance and the maximum variance. Now you see this, what I am doing now. So now you see this, you see this, you see this 0.4. I got this 0.2. The 0.2 is going to be kept here. Remaining the probabilities are coming down. It means that I am keeping my new probability above the existing. These two are existing actually. Please note down. These two are existing. This one is also existing. Existing probability is equal to the new probability. Then new probability will be kept above the existing probability. That is called a minimum variance procedure. Okay, minimum variance procedure. Tomorrow's class we will be keeping down. We will be keeping below the existing probability. Okay, so now I have kept. Now I have ensured that every time. Okay, you have to ensure that all the probabilities are in descending order. While keeping the probability, you have to ensure that all the probabilities are in descending order. This is my stage 2. So now one more thing we need to do, that is called coding. Actually, coding is going to be the last two probabilities are combined. You know, the first symbol is going to be encoded as 0, second symbol is encoded as 1. Okay, so now we will go to the second stage. In the second stage, okay, I have ensured that all are in descending order. Okay, all are in descending order. So descending order combination. Okay, second one is the coding. Okay, coding, and third one is going to be adding the last two symbols. Adding last two symbols. Okay, two symbols. Then keeping the new probability. Keeping the new probability in the next stage. Okay, in the next stage again we will be going to this process, descending order. Okay, again descending order. Okay, descending order is there. Okay, then combining, descending order, combining, coding. Okay, coding, then adding the value. So 0.4 is coming. So here you see previous stage. Now we are going to the third stage. Now the third stage, you see this third stage, this 0.4 is coming. Already 0.4 is available, that will come down 0.2. So this 0.4 is the new. Wherever this arrow mark is going now, that is called new. This is your old probability. This is your old probability from the stage number 2. Now I am combining the okay, now I am ensuring that all the probabilities are in descending order. Okay, descending order. Combine, code. Okay, combine, code. So combine and then code. Combine, code 0, 1. Okay, add it. The answer is 0.6. So 0.6 will be above. Okay, 0.6 will be above. Okay, because we have to maintain the descending order actually. 0.6, 0.4. You have to combine last two, the code it 0, 1 like this. Okay, so now you see this. Once again, I will be explaining. Okay, this is now stage number 4. Where we have to stop the stages means, okay, once you get the last two probabilities, only two probabilities are coming. Hereafter, don't continue your hereafter you continue. When you add these two probability, answer will become 1. So that process we should not do. Okay, once you get to two probabilities, that is the place you have to stop the algorithm. Okay, so we have to write all the probabilities in the descending order, combine last two probability, encode above one is 0, below one is 1, and then add it. Okay, add the last two probability 0.2. So keep the existing probability in the next next stage, second stage, and we are going to keep our new probability. While keeping the new probability, we have to ensure that all the probabilities are in descending order. And the second one is, if the new probability is equal to the existing probability, and the new probability will be kept above the existing probability. I have kept 0.2 is coming here, 0.2 is coming here. Again, my answer addition is going to be 0.2. I am keeping my new probability above the existing probability. I am keeping here. So my stage 2 is over. So in the stage 2, you see, I need to do coding process. I am combining last two, and 0, 1 is coded. Okay, first one is 0, last one is 1. Then I am adding the two probabilities, and the answer is 0.4. So now what I am doing, I am keeping the second stage probabilities to the third stage. 0.4 is coming here, 0.2 is coming here, and I am keeping my 0.4 above the existing probability. Why? Already 0.4 is available. Suppose the probability is not equal. Okay, not equal, you have to maintain the descending order only. Okay, you have to maintain the descending order. That you can understand in stage 4. So you see 0.4 is the new probability, which is equal to the existing probability. I am keeping my new probability above the existing probability, and I am maintaining the descending order, and my stage 3 is over. Okay, I am combining the last two probabilities. Upper one is coded, lower one is 1. Okay, upper one is 0, lower one is 1. Okay, like that only. This is the thing. Descending order, coding, last adding last two symbols, keeping the new probability in the next stage. Again, descending order, coding like that only. So now here you see this, the new probability is 0.6, old probability. Okay, old probability is 0.4. So we have to maintain 0. We cannot keep 0.4 is old. We cannot keep 0.6 below that, because we need to maintain the descending order in each and every stage, actually descending order, so that I'm 0.6 is kept here. So now the probabilities are in descending order. You see each stage, you see all are in descending order, actually all are in descending order. Okay, with that algorithm is over. Now we are going to consolidate the codes. We are going to find out the code word for each and every symbol. Understood all of you what I am trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Can I proceed? Students, it is very important. 2 times I have explained this. Any doubt on this?
No doubt, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah. Now coding. You see this. Okay, I am using a different color for this. Okay, I am using different color. The color may be this one. Okay, yellow color I am using. So now it is a coding is going to be backtracking, actually. Okay, backtracking. You see this 0.4, no, you take this corresponding binary number, you take and go back. This 0.4 is coming here, no, you keep that one. Okay, keep that one. Next one is going to be 0.6, corresponding code is 0. Take that and you go to this place. So this 0.6 is coming from 0.4. When we add this 0.4 and 0.2, we got this 0.6. So you take this 0 and keep that 0 before the existing binary. Okay, before the existing binary number. So 0.6 is the combination of addition of 0.4 and 0.2. 0 is already the red color one, you see 0.4 is 0, 0.2 is 1, but in the fourth stage I told it is a backtracking process. So 0.6 is coded as 0. This 0 is going to be taken and we are keeping that 0 before the existing binary. So existing binary is 0, existing binary is 1 here. I am keeping this. Yellow color one is the new, which is coming from the next stage, actually fourth stage. Now we will be going to the second stage. You take this one, this 0.4 is coming from 0.2 plus 0.2. You take this one and keep that one before the existing binary. Okay, before the existing binary. So now you see this 0, 0. 0.4 is coming from here. No combination. So no code word is assigned for this 0.4 and 0.2. So whatever the code available here, that is going to be kept here. So 0.2, that is going to be kept here. Okay, stage 2 is also over. Now we are moving to stage number 1. So this 0.4 no is coming directly. So 0.4, no code word for this. So this 0.4 only available here. So corresponding code will be transferred to the previous stage. Okay, so now this 0.2. So here 0.01 is the code. So which will be going back to the previous stage. Okay, 0.1. Previous stage, you see, what is this 0.2, which is the addition of 0.1 plus 0.1. So 0.1 will be given before the existing. Before the existing. Okay, so 0.2. Okay, this 0.2, this 0.1 will be, this 10 will be going, this 11 will be going like this. Now I can consolidate everything. So how the consolidation is going to be, this is the coding table. Note down this coding table. Okay, coding table where S0, S1, S1, S2, then S3 and then S4. Corresponding probabilities are going to be 0.4, 0.2, 0.2, 0.1, 0.1. You see the code vectors. You see the code vector or code. You see this 0, 0. I'll be transferring here. 0, 0. What is the next 0.2? 1, 0. Okay, 1, 0. Next 0.2, 1, 1. Okay, this is going to be 1, 1. Next one is you see this 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. Okay, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. Now I'll be calculating the length. 2 bits, 2 bits, 2 bits, 3 bits, 3 bits, like this. This is called coding table from minimum variance of men code. Okay, this is the symbol. This is a table. Heading I'll be writing here. Symbol, probability, code, length. All of you can understand what I am telling? All of you can understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so my process is over. Now what is the usefulness of this code? Suppose for example you see it is uniquely decodable. How we can check this? I can take one random, okay, random output. So you see this x1, sorry, s0, s1, s3, s4, s1, s0. For example, I have taken this. S0 means I can encode that S0, okay, S0 with 0, 0. And S1 is going to be 1, 0. S3 is going to be 0, 1, 0. S4 is 0, 1, 1. S1 is 0, 0. S1 is 1, 0 actually. Okay, 1, 0. S0 is 0, 0. Like this. You see this? We are going to decode this. So now you see, okay, now we are not going to divide. You see how I am going to decode. So you assume that the same coding table is available. Our communication is synchronous communication. This coding table is available both in transmitter as well as in the receiver side. So now you see this. You see no code word is with 0, 0. 0 means you see here also 0, here also 0, here also 0. So the second bit is 0. Okay, second bit is 0 means definitely this will be decoded as S0. Okay, now this process is over actually. Next one, 1. 1 means starting number 1 is for S1 and then S2. Go to the second bit. Second bit is going to be 0. So 1, 0. Okay, 1, 0. Definitely 1, 0 means that is going to be S1. Next one you see 0. There are 3 numbers starting with the 0. You go to the next number 0, 1. So 0, 1 again 2 numbers S3 and S4. So again I'll be going to the third one. Okay, so you see like that only bit by bit you have to go. 0 means there are 3. 0, 1 means there are 2. Okay, here also 1, here also 1. Again you go to the third bit. Third bit 0, 1, 0 means definitely it is going to be S3. So that is going to be S3. So next one is 0. 0 means 3. Next bit is 1. Okay, 2, S3 and S4. Third bit is 1, S4 will come. Okay, S4. Next one is 1. Okay, 1 means 2, S1 and S2. 1, 0 means S1 actually. S1. You see this last one is 0, 0, S0. You see S0, S1, S3, S4, S1, S0. So using one algorithm, we have designed our code that is going to be uniquely decodable code. Can you agree? This code is uniquely decodable or not? Students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So tomorrow morning class, I will be teaching the maximum variance and all the calculations related to this. All of you study this and then come for tomorrow's class. Okay, with that I am completing. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in the Huffman coding process?
Could you please explain this backtracking method once?
What ma?
Could you explain this backtracking method once more?
You see this? You see this, the backtracking once again I am teaching. Okay, this 0 is the code will be coming to the, okay, this first I will be taking this 0.4. This one will be going back. Okay, this one is the binary code. Okay, this one is the binary code which is assigned for this 0.4. This 0.4 is coming from third stage. So the corresponding binary number is going. You see the yellow color here. You see the yellow color. The next one, okay, now this transfer is over. Now you go to 0.6. 0.6 code word is 0. The 0 we have coded in fourth stage. The fourth stage, that 0 is taken and it is going to the previous stage, that is third stage. This 0.6 is the addition of 0.4 and 0.2. Okay, so 0.4 is already coded, the red color you see already coded as 0 and 0.2 is coded as 1. So now the new code is 0. That new code, yellow color one is the new, which is coming from the fourth stage. That will be kept before the old one. Old one is this 0 and 1. So before the old one, the new is yellow one, that is 0 here. Again, this is 0 here. Now this process is over. Now we are going to take this 1, 0, 0, 0, 1 to the second stage. So now again the backtracking. This 0.4, first you take this 0.4, corresponding binary is 1. That will be taken to the previous stage, that is the second stage. You see my cursor. So 0.2 plus 0.2, that is the answer for this 0.4. When we add these two values, the answer will become 0.4. So 0.2 is already encoded with 0, and the next 0.2 is already encoded as 1. Okay, so the new code is 1, that is going to be kept before the old one. Old one is 0 here, old one is 1 here. New one is yellow one, that is 1 here, this one. Okay, now the 0, 0 and 0, 1 is pending. 0.4 is coming from this place actually. 0.4 is coming from this place. The corresponding 0, 0 is going to be kept. It is this 0.4 and 0.4 does not have any old codes. Okay, this 0.4 is directly transferred here. This 0.2 is directly transferred here. So that directly we are taking this 0, 0 and 0, 1 and they are placed near the probabilities. Okay, 0, 0 and 0, 1. Now again from this second stage to we are moving to the first stage. Okay, first one is 0.4. It is not this 0.4 only transferred to the second stage. The corresponding code is transferred to the previous stage. Similarly, okay, this 0, 1. Okay, 0, 1 is the code. So this 0.2 is derived by adding this 0.1 and 0.1. So this 0.1, according to our procedure, this is encoded as 0, this one is encoded as 1. So new code is 0, 1, that is going to be kept before the old one. Red color one is 0, 1, 0 here, 0, and here red one is 1. So new one is 0, 1 here, new one is 0, 1 here, like that. Okay, next one. The third one is 0.2, which is coming from this place. So 10 is directly we are keeping here. So once you are keeping this, you are combining this yellow one and red one, you are combining these two. You are combining the 2 bits. Here also, once you are keeping this means it will become 1, 1. Okay, red one is old, yellow one is new. So then you can say that 10 is the code for this 0.2. Then you take that 0.2 code vector to this first stage 10, and this is transferred to 1, 1. So consolidated 0.4 is 0, 0, 0.2 is 10, then 0.2 is 1, 1, 0, 1 is 0.1 is 0, 1, 0, 0.1 is 0, 1, 1. Like that. Understood?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for attending today's class. We will meet tomorrow morning.